Planners JBR presents Cruise Ship for Rookies.
Yep. And as far as the drinks things go, they every cruise line has a drink package that's available. Some of them offer it for free as part of a perk, like Norwegian is doing right now, and others you can pay for that. But that is actually regulated by the United States, and how they get around that is because all the ships are registered to like Panama or someplace like that. Now, of course, the Pride of America in Hawaii is a U.S. ship, and they can't even offer you the drink package because of the taxes and stuff.
All right.
So yeah, see, now you wouldn't know that if I didn't tell you, right?
That's
why you have me.
Hey, I got a question though, especially with what happened a few weeks ago, that tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
What if I'm on my way and God forbid something like that ever happened again, but anything that I didn't make it to the departure time?
Yeah, you didn't make it to the port. Well, we'll go into this a little bit more in detail on probably the next segment, but you really do need to buy travel insurance. And like I said, we'll go into more detail on that, but if you didn't have travel insurance, you're kind of out of luck.
Right.
You either have to pay out of your pocket to get to the port where the cruise ship is going to be next, or you ask for a refund and maybe get 50 to 75% of it back in the form of a future sailing certificate.
Yeah, and that's not just from that tragedy. That's weather delays.
Absolutely.
The plane, something that, because I know I've gotten on a plane before and we had to sit for 3-4 hours because they had fixed the water.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's various forms of that. Like if you buy your airfare right directly through the cruise line, they would get you to the next port. And like I said, we'll go into that some more. Every cruise line, they all have contingency plans in case something like that happens. But we'll go into that in our next segment in a little bit more detail.
And do you have like a refund policy or that?
Of my own?
Yeah, say like, okay, I called, booked with you.
Mm-hmm.
And something came up where I couldn't go.
Well, in most cases, unless you book, certain cruise lines there's different types of fares, and that's another reason why you need to contact me directly. And we can expand on that in the next section too, Danny, of why I actually need to talk to you, not just communicate via email or messenger on Facebook. There's always a really, really, really cheap rate for everybody. That's not refundable. Some of them call it early saver, some of them call it this, some of them call it that kind of thing. If you put your deposit down and change your mind, you're just out of luck. Okay, not always, but
right.
But sometimes. If you book into other different categories, your initial deposit is almost always refundable up to 120 days prior to your departure.
Okay, as we're going to get further into this, I don't want to miss out on anything. Was there anything else you wanted to cover as far as your qualifications or why with you?
No, I think we kind of covered that pretty good. Like I said, I've been in the industry for quite a long time. I can talk to anyone. I do have a little bit of an Irish temper at times, which works out really well when I'm talking to a vendor if they don't do what they're supposed to do. Doesn't go over well at home sometimes, but anyways, no, I think you can have confidence booking with me because I got your back. That's the bottom line. And I want to reassure you, like, for example, you can go online, and I'm not discouraging you from checking other things out. And in fact, I encourage that. Because if you go and look online or call the 800 number first and get a price and you come back to me and say, hey, here's what I got, as long as I know every detail about it so I can compare apples to apples, I'll bet you I can beat it. Now, I don't always, but in the cases where we're tied, why not book with me rather than get that commission to somebody that you don't even know?
That'd be like just going out to first car dealership and buying that.
Nobody does that. You buy a refrigerator, you buy a computer, you buy a television. You don't buy the first one that you come to. Nobody does that.
No.
So why, when you're going to spend thousands of dollars on a vacation of a lifetime, would you take at face value what an 800 number operator tells you what that internet does? Don't do it. But I want to remind everybody out there to make sure that you go to my website, www.4funandthesun.com. My personal Facebook page is Jerry Roach. My Cruise Planners page is Cruise Planners JBR, and I encourage you, once you go there, first of all, like it. Next, go on the left-hand side where it has, all these other things, and one of them says events. Click on events. Subscribe to our event page so you always know what we got going on. And pay attention and follow us because we give stuff away all the time, don't I, Dan?
Yes, you do.
I give things away all the time. And I got a special bonus at the end of this. Follow us all the way through. And these are going to end up on YouTube also because I'm going to make sure that anybody that books a cruise or an all-inclusive with me through the end of March gets between $25 and $75 shipboard credit or hotel credit. So what we're going to kind of address now is some of the questions that we got Danny here, and he's going to do it from his perspective, and a lot of you never been on a cruise before, got a lot of questions, and we're going to do our best to answer some of those right now. So go ahead, Danny, give it a try.
Okay, Jerry. Like I said, I wrote some of these questions down. I've never been on a cruise before. My wife has never. And we sat down together and we wrote questions that we thought we'd ask. And if there's a question you want to ask it. Don't be afraid. Okay, first thing off is, how soon do I got to be at the ship before it departs?
Well, usually they take off in the late afternoon or the early evening, and they won't let you get on the ship, generally speaking, until about noon anyhow. We usually try to get everybody there as soon as they'll let you on so that you can start. Everybody gets a little map when they get on, so you can start exploring the ship ahead of time. They serve lunch when you get there, so the sooner you can get there, the better, actually, because it just gives you that opportunity to take the map and familiarize yourself with the ship. Here's where this kitchen or buffet area is. Here's the main dining. Here's the entertainment area. There's the comedy club, blah, 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 and all through the place. So get there as early as you can.
Brings me to the question, like, should I ride that day it departs, or should I spend the money and come down like a day earlier?
Well,
come here, Hunter.
Yeah, he wants
Excuse
to
my
be a
dog.
Hollywood star too.
It's all about him.
A lot of that has to do with when you're going. But if you're leaving Michigan, for example, and November through March, I'd go down the day before. In fact, if I have groups that go down, I pretty much tell them they need to and make the arrangements for them to go. You don't want to be, and plus, if you wait till the day that you go and you fly in and you go through all that, and we've all been through the airports, whether you went on a cruise or not,
Right.
Probably been through there. But on the day that the cruise leaves, if you can help it, because you just end up going through a lot of stuff, and you're already tired when you get there.
That's right. How do I check in? So when I get there, you said you provide the transportation from the airport to the boat, to ship, whatever. What do I do? How do I check in?
Well, you're actually going to check in about 30 days before the ship leaves. You're going to get a link from me that tells you that, okay, it's time to go online and do the check-in. And it's at that point where you put in all your personal information, your emergency contact information, if you're going to pay for, and this is something that we need to discuss as well. We're kind of getting a little bit ahead of ourselves in a way, but because I'd like to address fears and concerns about first-timers too going. But you'll go online and you'll put in your information, including a credit card if you're going to pay for stuff online. The cruise lines are a cashless system. And we'll expand on this a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So that could, because there was a question about tipping and that kind of stuff, and we'll address that and make a little note to get to that. But we're getting way ahead of ourselves on that first. I kind of like to address the concerns of first-time cruisers as far as what is there to do and stuff like. Here's a common one that I get all the time. I don't think I can do it because I might be seasick.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably the most popular one, or the biggest reason people use to not go on a cruise. Let me give you a little analogy. If you are on a cruise ship, and I've actually done this, left accidentally or on purpose a glass with some type of liquid in it on the counter in my stateroom, it's going to be at the same level in the morning as it was when you put it there. Take that same glass, 3/4 away full of a liquid, put it in your cup holder in your vehicle, and drive down the street and make a turn. You're not going to have the same amount.
Yeah.
What's the analogy? The ship doesn't move as much as your car does. If you can ride in a car, you can go on a ship. Okay, now, as a precaution, if you think it's going to be an issue, you can always get a prescription from your doctor. You can do the Dramamine stuff. If you didn't do it ahead of time and you get on the ship and you have an incident that you think that you're feeling a little bit seasick, you can go to medical that's on the ship. They'll either give you little tabs put behind your ears, or if it's severe enough, you can get a shot. To give you an example, Barbie, my wife, we have a boat. We live on a lake. She doesn't even like to go on our boat. We went into a lot of the big boats when we did the offshore pictures for the photographs for the lenses, and she used Dramamine for that. She's never had a problem. The ships have these amazing stabilization systems. Once they get going, the wings kind of go out, kind of thing. They have a smooth rocking motion to them. Yeah, you've seen all the videos of those idiots that go in weather when they shouldn't. We've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
That's what people are going to
Yeah. Well, when a plane crashes, that's all they remember. They don't remember all the ones that take off safely and land safely, right?
What if I break my leg before I go, and I need as a wheelchair?
Yeah. Well, if you had travel insurance, which we're going to expand on that later too, you can make a decision whether you wanted to go or not. You had travel insurance, and you could get your money back. And if you decided this is just going to be too much of a pain in the hind end. However, there's wheelchairs and Amigo type scooters available if you decide to go, so you can still go and have.
Is that an extra cost?
Yeah, not very much though. I rented an Amigo from my dad on a recent cruise, and it was $200 for the whole week.
That's not too bad, because I know at Disney it's like $65 a day for the park and that. So
no, it's relatively inexpensive actually.
And you said they already have those right there at the
No,
shop.
but I get it.
Oh, okay.
I make those arrangements.
All right.